Hello, everyone. Brace yourselves. Not every day you get to experience a legend talk. Today on Cricfrenzy, we have the South African legend, Abraham Benjamin de Villiers, aka AB de Villers, popularly known as Mr. 360. Can we have AB on screen, please?
Hi there, guys.
Hey, AB, welcome to Cricfrenzy. It's truly an honor to have you on the show. Even this wall is lucky to see you in person. And to me, to be honest, you are probably the most loved cricketer in the world.
That's a big call, but thank you very much.
So, AB, you are known to be a calm and quiet, kind-hearted person and a loving dad. How do you transform yourself into a brutal, merciless batsman in the field who literally destroys the opponents?
Well, it might look like that to you, but I'm just having fun out there. I always remind myself that it's just a game and it's sport. I do something that I love doing. I know it looks brutal sometimes, but I also get out. So it's a great level playing field. Every bowler has an opportunity to dismiss me as well, which has happened a lot of times in the past. So it's a roller coaster ride, the beautiful game of cricket. You got to enjoy when you're on top because you never know when you're gonna get down again.
So do you have an alter ego, just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? So when you walk on the field, you're a different person.
I do get into in game mode. I think most sportsmen call it the zone. I won't say it's an alter ego, but I'm certainly very focused. Then I'm almost you almost sort of leave your own body for a while when you're really having fun and when you're very focused. So yes, you could maybe call that Mr. 360 if you wish.
Right. So AB, tell us. So when did you decide to become a cricketer? I believe rugby wasn't an option, or was it?
I think it was. I think initially tennis was the main option. That stopped when I was about 14. There's a lot of reason for that. Firstly, it's an individual sport, and the training was quite hectic. I really drilled myself, or my mom drilled me. She was my coach since the age of 6 until 14. So when I got the taste of team sports, cricket, rugby, etc., I sort of realized there's a different side in sport and something that I enjoy more to have my friends around me. And then rugby became a big option. During high school, I always wanted to play rugby, which I did. But cricket was always just, I say always, but especially since the age of 16, just the sport that I was a little bit better at than the rest. And that's why I initially ended up going into that direction.
So who was your cricketing hero growing up?
Without a doubt, Jonty Rhodes. From the age of, I'd say about 4 or 5, I started watching him and following him. I loved what he did on the field and the way he played the game. And at the age of 8, I watched that 1992 World Cup live. I saw his run out. And that inspired me so much. I mean, it really inspired me the way he did it. It's not only the achievements that he got throughout his career. It's more the enjoyment factor, the smile on his face, and that never say die attitude. You're always going at it. The busyness at the wicket. Those are the kind of things I inspire to. And not only did I want to play cricket like that, I wanted to live my life like that with a smile on my face, etc. So I got a lot of inspiration from the way he played the game.
Yeah, we can see that, and your Wikipedia page says that a lot of people compare your fielding with Jonty Rhodes. So that must feel really good.
That was initially the biggest compliment anyone could give me, was that they saw a resemblance in the way I fielded to Jonty Rhodes, and that was a huge compliment. And I took a lot of confidence from that when I started for the Proteas. People comparing me to him. I felt I never filled those big footsteps in the field, but I tried to, and that's what kept me going in the field. It's not always easy in a team sport to really focus in the field when you're not really doing your skill, which is batting or bowling or wicket keeping. Fielding is seen as as a selfless act. So it's really difficult to be switched on for the team all the time. But Jonty Rhodes and his memory and everything he used to do as a cricket player on the field was big inspiration for me to keep focusing every single ball and keep believing that the next ball was going to be the delivery that I could change the game for my team in the field. So yes, I was driven because of him.
Right, absolutely. And thank you, because we, the fans, we are reliving the jaunty moments through you. So thank you for that. And
Thank you.
AB, along with Hansie Cronje, you're one of the most influential figures of South African cricket. Like, you have great impact all across the globe. You have played in multiple franchise leagues. So how do you see that?
I think there's been a lot of influential cricketers in South Africa in the past. A name that pops up in my mind and someone who played a big role in my career is Jacques Kallis. I think he's possibly the greatest cricketer that's ever played the game, in my humble opinion. There are lots of great cricketers around the world, but I think it's very difficult to compare what he achieved in his career to anyone else. And then there's someone like a Mark Boucher, a Graeme Smith, who's the best leader I've ever played under, especially for South Africa. So there are lots of influential people, but there's no doubt Hansie Cronje left deep footsteps in South African cricket. The inspirational leader that he was truly incredible, and I will always look up to him. Obviously, everyone knows he made a couple of mistakes throughout his career, a couple of big mistakes, but that's long forgotten in my opinion. In my opinion, what lasts will forever last was the deep footsteps he left in SA cricket, and the gentlemanly way that he used to play the game, the sportsmanship he used to have, and the belief that he had in South African cricket and his teammates. And I mean, a lot of youngsters aspire to be like him, and still do. The way he led the cricket team will never ever fade away.
Right. Yes.
To be compared to that is too big for me to think. Obviously, I've led my own. I've curved my own road in cricket around the world, and I've had a lot of fun doing that. But I'll never feel that I had such an impact like those big characters that I used to look up to.
Right, and rightly said. Despite his mistakes, Hansie Cronje is fondly remembered all across the globe in cricketing world. So, AB, though your label is you are Mr. 360, and you're mostly known for your shorter version exploits, but you have shown great character and played some amazing knocks in Test cricket. Like, to mention a few, your match-winning 100 against Australia in Perth, chasing 414, and 278 not out against Pakistan when the team was struggling at 33 for 3, and of course your 33 runs off 220 balls against Australia. That is not AB de Villers. So how does that mental transformation take place? Like, how do you switch the Test cricket mode?
I'll explain it to you, and once I've explained it, it'll make a lot of sense. So I grew up in a sport crazy family. I mean, my mom and my dad, two older brothers who always participated in all kinds of sports. So I literally grew up from the day I could walk. We had competitive games in our backyard, in our garden, at the sports fields, at the local club. We had tennis courts, a golf course. Literally everything we did was competitive in our family. And I was the youngest brother of 3, and I was always pushed to sort of achieve higher things than just my age group. I had to compete with my brothers. And in our family, it was never just good enough to have good skill. It was good enough to perform under pressure and to show character when your chips were down, or in my instance, to perform at a level of my brothers who were much older than me. So when I came into the Protea setup, everyone was talking about this talented young guy, but from the very first moment, I always wanted to be the guy to stand up when the pressure was on us, and that was a drive from a very young age, and it never changed in South African cricket. When the chips were down, we were in trouble. I always wanted to be the guy to help us out of that trouble and get us into a position where we can win games. So I'd say it's a deep desire and a hunger that was buried in me when I was a youngster, and it came out in the South African circles, where I wanted to show everyone that I could be the man to stand up when things are not going so well.
So, which one is your favorite test knock?
I'd say my very last test series that I played for South Africa in 2018. I haven't been out of the SA group for a little while, and then coming back with a lot of criticism from the media. Everything looked a little bit confusing from the outside, but I knew where I was heading as a person and as a cricketer. I made my comeback and I played against Australia in South Africa. My best test knock by a distance was the 100 I scored in Port Elizabeth in the second test match against Australia. Once again, we had a very good start where we dismissed them for, I think, 240, somewhere there. We had a good start with the bat in hand, collapsed, and then I was the man to be there with the team. Some crucial partnerships towards the back end of the innings, which gave us a nice lead, and ultimately we won the test match there to make it 1-1 and then to win the test series as well. So that's the way I ended my career, and I could not have asked for a better finish to my career for South Africa.
Great. So in 2015, you scored 149 of 44 balls and 162 of 66 balls, which are probably something the fans might never experience again. And unfortunately, both the times, it was the West Indies cricket team at the receiving end. So when you retired, you mentioned quite a few reasons. And one of the reasons you said, you didn't like the attention, the pressure. So my question to you is, when you play such knocks, how can you expect people won't give you attention?
It's not so much the attention. It's more it's more people trying to understand more than you as the cricketer. They started delving quite deep into my life, started questioning my decisions. And at that time, I was married with a young boy. A lot of things in my life changed over the last few years. Since 2015, since our exit at the 2015 World Cup, a lot of things in my life changed, and people kept hassling me. I'm specifically actually referring to the media. So I never really enjoyed the media attention that much. I always felt like I was just there to play cricket and to entertain and to show people what I'm capable of and how much I can enjoy the game of cricket. Once the media started really analyzing everything about my life and my decisions, it really started irritating me a bit. So that's the kind of attention I was talking about. I've never been a guy to be too much of a high rider. When I played good knocks, I always really enjoyed to reset the button and to show humility in that and to start again and to build myself up again. And the media wouldn't really allow that. They want me to ride this wave so that you can come crashing down again eventually. So that part of it really started getting to me a bit towards the end of my career. I maybe reacted too much to it as well and should have ignored it a bit more. But looking back, I think everything worked out the way it should have. And I mean, I had a fantastic career. I had so much fun. I met so many incredible people. I've had some good knocks. I've had some bad knocks. And it's all part of the journey. I don't regret anything.
But AB, a lot of experts and fans believe you still have, and you had when you retired in 2018, that a lot of cricket left in you. So do you think you could have, with hindsight, you could have thought it differently, maybe taken a break and then come back and still play for South Africa?
Maybe. I was never really tired of playing cricket. As I mentioned, and as I alluded to now, it is more outside noise and outside factors that got to me a bit. And good and bad. I mean, the family factor was a good factor, but it changed things. It changed my perspective in life and cricket and everything that I wanted to do in my life, and still want to do. And then there's some bad outside factors like the media, people really analyzing and going too deep. I wouldn't say it was a workload thing. There were times in my career where the workload was a problem. So the workload wasn't really an issue. I just wanted to get out of the environment, out of international cricket, where it is so intense. There's so much traveling, which once again is a really difficult part of being a parent, is to travel a lot. You don't want to do that too much. So I still have a lot of cricket in me as we speak. I just can't commit to a full-time schedule all the time at international level, not seeing my family and pretty much being analyzed non-stop. So that's what I've had enough of. But there are so many other challenges and things I still want to achieve, like playing in the IPL, winning a trophy with a team. Who knows, possibly still winning a World Cup with South Africa if everything lines up right. I know there's a lot of things that need to happen for that. Needs a lot of things that need to fall in place for that to happen. But who knows? I will never say never. My life has just changed, and I can't commit to 12 months of a year being an international cricketer anymore. It's unfortunately not priority for me.
As you've brought up South Africa's World Cup hopes, there's always some drama involved. Like in 1992, in that famous 1999 match, and then again in 2003, and of course in 2015 when you were leading the side, that last over finish. Do you think like it's kind of jinxed that when you go out and play a big tournament, and so generation after generation, you are carrying that burden and carrying that pressure?
I don't really believe in the fact that it gets carried over. I mean, the World Cup is a very pressurized environment. No matter what you do, once you arrive there, nothing is the same. Similar to the IPL, I think a lot of guys will tell you, you can prepare as much as you want to. Once you arrive there, everything changes, and you got to be prepared for surprises along the way. You've got to play the best cricket of your life at the same time, and also be lucky at the right time. So there's a lot of things that need to fall in place. There's no ways that I was ever influenced by what happened in the past going into my World Cup campaigns. I always felt like we are ready. I'm ready. I'm going to go out there and give it my best shot to win the World Cup for my team. It didn't work out that way. And that's part of sport. You can't analyze it too much. I can look back and look at a couple of drop catches, maybe a run out here and there, maybe a lucky shot from the opposition, or whatever the case may be. You can analyze as much as you want. It's sport, and it's supposed to be exhilarating and surprising and all those factors, which exactly is what it was through all my World Cup campaigns.
Right.
In the 2015 World Cup, none other than that is we arrived that night. I arrived, I played the best cricket of my life, and that is sport. You don't always win those games. It's just one of those things.
Yeah,
but
AB, sorry to interrupt you, but when that semi-final match against New Zealand went down the wires and went to the last over, did you think back of your mind, oh no, not again?
Did I think what?
Did you think like, oh, like history is repeating itself, not again, like not another close match?
Not at all. Until that very last delivery that sailed over the boundary, I was 1,000% convinced we are winning this game no matter what. One ball at a time, we were focused. I believe we were the only team that could beat Australia in that final. We were so prepared. We beat them a few months before that in a final, in a series. We were very ready. We could took control of the crowd, which was completely against us and huge and roaring and so loud. We batted first on a wicket that was moving around a bit. We conquered that. The rain was there, played a bit of a role, but there were no excuses. We dropped a couple of catches in the middle of the night sky around that big crowd, and we still had the opportunity at the end, 5 runs from 2 balls. I still felt we were favourites. And Grant Elliott played up a fantastic shot, a fantastic knock, and credit to him. That is, once again, as I said, that is sport. You have someone at the other end that's also a professional athlete, that's also there to beat you. And you need that little bit of luck at the right time to go through at the right time. And as I said, it's unfortunate, but that we didn't get that opportunity. But going against Australia in that final, I think we had their number. We'll never know.
Yeah, and the irony of fate is Grant Elliott was born in South Africa. So...
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, but so the story goes. Maybe in the future we'll get to lift that cup. No one will give it to you. You got to go out there and work for it.
Absolutely. So tell us about your favorite format of the game and why.
It's without a doubt Test cricket. I love all formats, but Test cricket is the ultimate challenge. It's once again an opportunity to showcase your character more than your skill. And that is what I love about sport, is people showing character. Tiger Woods on the final day in the Masters, not so much performing his skill, but really just being able to weather the storm in the highest pressure environment. Same with Novak Djokovic or Federer at the top of their game. They can weather the storm when the chips are down, when it's really difficult. So that's what I love about Test cricket. Your character gets tested all the time, and you get an opportunity to show people that you are tough under pressure. And I love that about the sport.
Right. Do you think AB playing too much T20 cricket, playing in all these franchise cricket leagues, undermines your batsmanship? Like you have almost 9,000 test runs with an average of 50 something. So which speaks itself the caliber of a batsman you are. But when we talk about AB de Villers, it's always those crazy 360-degree shots.
Yes, look, there is a T20 cricket is very exciting, but there is an element of it taking away a little bit of batsmanship, and it's more of a level playing field where you won't necessarily always get the best player in the world coming out on top. Where in Test cricket, you got to be a real good player to conquer and to get on top of a bowling attack, especially someone like the English or the Australian bowling attack or the Indian bowling attack in India specifically, and or all around the world lately, because they've got a really good seam attack as well. But more often than not in Test cricket, if you're one of the top 5 batters in the world, you've got that skill set. Where if you're not, you're going to struggle to really consistently showcase your skill and your determination and your character. Where in T20 cricket, you can get away with it even if you don't have that character. You can get away with a couple of lucky shots here and there, build some momentum and build on that. But still, the best players in the world come out on top eventually. They just don't have as much time, and they're probably not as consistent as in Test cricket. So that's why I love Test cricket. Once again, it's a test of character.
AB, you debuted back in 2004, and cricket evolved a lot, especially how batting is approached now. Back then, it was more orthodox. So you have seen a different generation of players like Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, of course, Jacques Kallis. But then comes T20 cricket. And, everything was upside down. So how do you adjust it to the new normal?
It took me a while, to be honest. Like pretty much everything else throughout my career, you got to be prepared to work hard, to work out what works for you as well. It was certainly not easy. I felt in the beginning, the first year or two, that T20 cricket is just an opportunity just to go and try and hit every ball for 6. I very quickly realized that you need to have respect for the format and figure out a way to pace your innings and to build an innings and to create this momentum as well. So it took me a while to develop that, which I finally did, and I understood that it's not just a hack. You got to really be prepared to set the foundation in different ways than Test cricket and ODIs. So it certainly took me a while, same as with the other formats, same as when I came into international cricket. Everything takes a while, and if you are prepared and you have enough skill to adapt to different conditions, different formats, different styles of play, then you will eventually get on top of the way to build your innings and to construct a successful recipe.
AB, you have played in all the major T20 leagues. You have also played in Bangladesh Premier League for Rangpur Riders. My question is, do you even remember all the teams you have played for?
I do. I haven't actually played for the many teams. I've never been a team hopper. I don't think you'll ever see me playing in a tournament for 2 different teams or 3 different teams like other players sometimes do. I always try and stick with one, except for the IPL. I started with Delhi Daredevils and I ended up with RCB, but I've been with RCB for 10 years now. Back home, I've been with the Titans, always no other team. In the PSL, only one team, Lahore Qalandars. Bangladesh League, only Rangpur Riders. In England, only for Middlesex. In Australia, only for Brisbane Heat. That's it. I've never played for other teams. I've always stuck to one team in a tournament. I like that loyalty and to be part of a brand and build something up for the next generation to follow. So I've always been a believer in that. Same with any other thing, my sponsorships. I've always been very selective and to make sure that I build long relationships with with people and with sponsors and brands. So I've always had that same kind of mindset with teams.
Okay, my bad. Wrong question. I take it back. So
still a lot of teams.
Yeah. So you have played under Mashrafi bin Mortoza in Rangpur Riders, and I'm sure like you have seen, he is a larger than life character here in Bangladesh. Massive fan following, people love him. So how do you see him as a leader and as a man?
We have a lot of similarities, and I think that's why we got along so well. I think he's also got the same credentials in a way where he loves to fight. He's a never say die kind of character. He loves the pressure moments. He loves to be the guy to stand up for the team. So there's a lot of things that we see in each other that we really enjoyed about each other as players. And I think that's why I really enjoyed playing under him in the Bangladesh Premier League. I had a lot of fun with him as captain. He's calm under pressure. He's always got the team's he's always got the team in mind instead of the individual. So I think we have a lot of similarities in the way we play the game, and I have a lot of respect for him.
AB, Shakib said that he had a discussion with you during BPL about his batting order, and that afterwards influenced him to bat on number 3. And we all know his performance in 2019 World Cup, stellar of a performance. So what was the discussion all about? Can you give us a little bit of insight?
Yeah, look, I've always seen him as one of the best players in Bangladesh, certainly, and around the world, batsmen specifically. So he's a typical case where I've met a lot of cricketers in my life where they get labelled as an all-rounder, and all-rounders just don't bat in the top 3. That's just an old school way of thinking. You bat 6 or 7 or 5, 6, 7, right, and you bowl your overs, and that's your role and the end of the story. So I was similar in a way where when I used to do the wicket keeping, guys always said, yeah, but you can't open the batting and do the wicket keeping because that's how it's supposed to work. But Shakib has always been better than just an all-rounder batsman. And that's the kind of thing I told him. I felt the best players in the world bat in the top 4. And if you want to be one of the best batters in the world, and that's where your attention should be, then you got to get yourself up there and put yourself under pressure. And then only you'll really step it up into a next level of your batting. Or you'll get found out and then you move back to 6. No problem. But you have to put yourself in that uncomfortable position in order to see how you're going to react as a character, as a person, and as a cricket player, which he did. And I was not surprised at all when we saw the best of Shakib at number 3. He is that kind of fighter once again, calm under pressure. He's got the skill, and I'm very glad for him that he got that opportunity. Obviously, you'll have to have a look at it with regards to workload in Test cricket, how many overs he bowls, can he bat at 3 after bowling 40 overs. So that's another thing to look at. But I love the fact that he pushed himself into that uncomfortable zone because that brings out the best in us.
Maybe tell us your take on Bangladesh's cricket. Back in the late 2000s, our team was struggling. And now Bangladesh is a force to reckon with. So you have seen the team progress, and you must have seen some of the young talents that we have produced up close. So what do you think about the future and how the team is playing since 2015?
I'm incredibly impressed with the way they've handled everything over the last 10 to 15 years. It's been amazing to watch. And I was there from the start when everyone, you know what, as in any sport, or specifically a youngster coming into a team, people are very quick to label them. So same happened with the Bangladesh cricket. People label them initially, straight away. We'll go, yes, they've got talent, but they'll never feature, yes, they've got talent, but their batters will never do well on different conditions. Those are the kind of comments I constantly heard. And to be honest with you, it was difficult not to agree with it at the time. But there's one thing everyone underestimated, and that is the team spirit and the fighting spirit of a Bangladeshi cricket team and players. They have, once again, this incredible never say die attitude. They love proving people and everyone wrong, which they have done over the last while. They've got some fantastic coaches involved. No one ever will disagree with the fact that there's incredible talent in the country. And all of that together has turned them into a fantastic cricket team in the last while. And as you said, a force to be reckoned with. And I think the best is yet to come.
Right. And now let's talk a bit about IPL. Why doesn't RCB win the title? You have a great team, and like you have been really close. So why do you think RCB fails?
Yeah, we haven't won a trophy yet, and that's the brutal truth. And unfortunately, something we have to deal with. We came close a couple of years, and those years we probably should have won. I think it was 2 years, 2011 and 2016. But to be 100% honest with you, the other years we were not the best team in the tournament. So I'm not surprised we didn't win those ones. Everyone once again labeled us as the best team. So it's reversed to what I just spoke about, where we'd come into the tournament and immediately everyone will say, yes, but RCB should win. And I didn't agree with that all the time. If I look at teams like Mumbai Indians, Delhi Daredevils or Delhi Capitals now, Chennai Super Kings, there were teams in those years that were really better than us, and we had to perform. I'm talking about all round. I'm talking about bowling attack, fielding, batting, everything. The whole setup in other teams were just as good, even better than ours. There were 2 years that we let it slip, and those 2 years we'll always regret. But I certainly get that feeling again this year. And people might laugh at me, but I look around this team this year, from coaching right all the way down, admin to the youngest player in our team. I truly believe we have the strongest team in this tournament this year. And looking back at 2020, in 5 years' time, if we are not going to win this tournament, I'll look back at 2020 and regret it and think that's another one that got away. But luckily, it hasn't happened yet, and we can still influence this year's IPL.
Right. RCB posted a photo of you with kitten gloves, and everyone is speculating that you might be keeping for RCB this year. Even Simon Katic made a comment. But you already have Parthiv Patel and Josh Phillips in your team. So is that a possibility that we might see AB keeping the wickets?
It is a possibility. They've asked me if I would be up for it, and I said absolutely. I'll do anything for the team and anything that can improve our chances to win the tournament. So we have 3 wicket-keeping batsmen or batting wicket-keepers, whatever you want to call it, and all 3 are good players. Josh Philippe and Parthiv Patel have shown over numerous years. Well, Joshi is a youngster, a fantastic talent from Australia. Parthiv has shown over many years what he's capable of. I've got a track record of being able to do the job. So we have 3 options, which is fantastic for the team, and that's ultimately what it's about. The coaches have options to balance the team the way they feel is best for us to go win the game. If I get my opportunity, there's no doubt I'll be giving my best. I've been preparing exceptionally hard over the last month and before that during the lockdown. So I'm more ready than ever. If they push my number to go and do the keeping and batting, I'm ready to go. In the years 2011 and 2016, when we had good tournaments and made it to the final, I was the wicketkeeper then. And that's maybe the reason why Katic and Hessen decided to look back at that again.
Right. AB, our comment section is flooded with one question. Will you return out of the retirement and play for South Africa one more time and maybe win a trophy?
I'm open for it. There's no way I can commit to anything at the moment. The T20 World Cup is only happening end of 2021. That's a long time to go still. If I commit to that now, I might just end up disappointing people and the media again. So for now, I'm focused on the IPL, to do well here, to try and win the trophy. There's another IPL early next year. Once I get through that, if I do get a phone call from Mark Boucher, who's the coach currently at the Proteas, Graham Smith, the director of cricket, and then we can have discussions and talk about the possibility. I'll be open for it, but I have to play well first. I have to be fit, and then I have to get a call, and interest must be from their side to right. want me to be involved. So we'll see what happens.
AB, you said like when you played for South Africa, you were always under a lot of pressure, but still when you're playing for franchise teams, you're still the biggest star in the tournament. People expect you to perform every day. In fact, like I paid to buy tickets just to watch you bat. So there's still that sense of pressure and a lot of people getting disappointed. So are you saying that still you can deal with the fans' disappointment and the expectation with the other pressure, the media is different?
100%, yes. There's always pressure, no matter where you play, whether it's club cricket or for your school or at the highest level of international cricket or at the IPL. The biggest pressure is always from yourself. I want to really make myself proud, you know, and I want the hard work to pay off. And then there's the crowd and your family and friends, and everyone wants you to do well and perform. So that pressure is always there, and that is part of what I love about cricket. It's as daunting as it can be. It brings opportunities to really impress and to do well. And the beautiful part of cricket is you can't always perform. Sometimes things will not go so well. And that's also a test of your character. Can you still be the same person if it's not going so well? So I'll take it one day at a time. I try and enjoy every moment. And I know the pressure is part of the game. It's just what it is. The media pressure and people who have agendas against you, that is completely other ball game. You can't compare it. But the pressure of performing will always be there. And one day I'll be finished and I will miss these days. So for now, my focus is to make sure I enjoy every moment out there.
Faf, AB, tell us about your friendship with Faf du Plessis. So when you retired, Faf said like he's going to miss you, and you were the best player in the team, and it's very difficult to replace you.
Yeah, that's well. While I was captain for South Africa, guys like Jacques Callis, Graham Smith, Mark Boucher, all of them moved on. It was also difficult to replace, but it's part of being captain. You got to adapt to certain situations, to different things that happen around you. There's always outside influences and factors. The fact that I retired had nothing to do with Faf. It was my personal decision at the time. As I said, there was a lot of other things that played a role. I wasn't tired of playing cricket. There's a lot of other outside factors, and I'm sure he respected my decision. And it's one of those things. They moved on. I think they did a fantastic job still to play some good cricket around the world. And whoever is going to be captain in the future will have the same kind of obstacles and challenges as captain of South Africa. It's a big role and a big job to do.
Right. AB, we are almost at the end of the show. We know you have a bus to catch for practice. So we have a couple of lucky fans who are the winners of our prediction contest. And these lucky boys, I don't know if there are any girls, they are going to get a chance to talk to you live here right now. Can we
Wonderful.
have the fans, please?
Hello.
Hi, Avi. How are you?
I'm good, and you guys?
Actually, I'm a big fan of you. And I have one question for you. Many fans follow you as a cricketer, but who is your idol? Who is your idol?
That is difficult. When I was growing up, Jonty Rhodes was my idol. And now, I think my wife is my idol.
But
we can't hear you. আপনাকে শুনতে পারছি না.
I think his sound is off.
Yes, but he can hear us, I guess. So we still have 5 more minutes, so we'll wait for him. It'll be a shame if he doesn't get to talk to you and
No
ask
problem.
his question. So, AB, what's next for you, life after cricket? Like, how difficult would it be for you to live without cricket? Like all the travelings, the excitement, the adrenaline.
I think growing up, I always knew I wanted to play cricket, and it's a passion of mine. But I always also knew that there will come a day when it's all going to stop. And I've never really, because of that, and of the mindset and the way I was brought up by my parents, I've never seen cricket as my whole life. It's not everything. It's never been everything. It's something that I love doing. And therefore, I think once it's over, it will be an adjustment, but I'll be happy to make that adjustment and to adapt accordingly, and to make sure I have other passions as well. Is something I've been working on for quite some time now. So I think I'm going to be okay. I hope so.
Yes. Best of luck on that. And we have our fan back. You can ask your question. আপনার প্রশ্নটা করুন. I think like the sound is still not working. I think he has a story to tell. He would tell his grandkids. I got a chance to talk to AB de Villers, the great AB de Villers, but the sound was not working.
That's okay. That is the story. You're right.
Yeah, that's even more fun actually. So
exactly.
Last two questions. This came from the fans. Is like, who's your closest friend in the Bangladesh team or any Bangladeshi cricketer? Who you are most close with?
Because I played for the Rangpur Riders, I think Mashrafi and I got along very well, and we became really good friends. I've always been a fan of Shakib's cricket and the way he bowls and bats under pressure for the team. He always stands up to a challenge. So I think those are probably my two favorite players. Everything they've achieved for Bangladesh and everything they've meant for Bangladesh cricket over the years are incredible. And yes, I think they're probably the two guys that I followed the most, and also really good friends of mine.
And how do you see Bangladesh's chance in the next World Cup, the ODI World Cup in 2023?
The thing is, the chances are getting better and better every time they go to a World Cup. They are picking up a lot of experience. They seem to be playing the pressure moments better every time, and there's just more talent coming through every time. So I think the chances are getting better and better. And who knows? Maybe the next one they lift the trophy. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe we could have gone forever, but you, as I've said, you have a bus to catch. So I would let you go reluctantly. One final thing from you is if you can say a few words for your millions of fans in Bangladesh.
I think the only thing I can say is thank you so much for your support over the years. What I achieved in my career would not have been possible without fans like the Bangladeshi crowds, the Indian crowds, Australian people, South African people, that have really elevated me as a person and my game as a cricketer. So thank you very much for the support. Thanks for enjoying the way I play. I certainly love what I do, and if you guys enjoy watching me play, it's really a blessing for me, and it's a great privilege to perform in front of everyone. Hopefully, I've got many more years to come. The next one is the IPL, and hopefully a few more tournaments in the future. And I'm really hoping I can keep entertaining you and keep surprising you with a couple of things that I achieve on the field. So thank you so much, and here's to a few more years of entertainment.
Yes, thank you very much. On behalf of Cricfrenzy, I thank you for your time. And of course, I also have a story to tell to my grandkids. I interviewed the legend, Mr. 360. That would be enough. Thank you very much, and best of luck for IPL.
Thank you very much, and it was great talking to you too. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.